Greetings and welcome to the World Numismatic News. In this video, we'll be taking a look at the top 10 Lincoln penny variety coins from the swinging 1940s. And this decade had it all, from repunched mint marks to transitional errors and just about everything in between. And let's kick things off with a repunched mint mark from the Denver Mint in the form of the 1947 S over S wheat cent. Now, the fact that this is a repunched mint mark is significant enough, but what makes this coin so interesting is the fact that there are in fact two distinct mint mark styles being used for each impression. The initial striking took place with a trumpet tail S, or what is known as mint mark style number 4. Then, when the repunching took place, the primary S was placed using a mint mark style number 7, or what is better known as the sans serif S, leaving this unique variety for us to discover today. Remnants of the bottom, but especially to the top serif, can still be detected under the primary S, with a peculiar artifact at the top loop of the S, indicating the placement of the initial mint mark. In June of 2019, an MS67 red graded coin like this was sold at auction in a PCGS slab for the price of $780. The next coin is another remarkable specimen, a true double variety that is both a double die obverse and a repunched mint mark variety at the same time. Not only that, but the mint mark was actually triple struck to form the 1942 S over S over S double die obverse Lincoln cent. So, let's start with the mint mark, shall we? The placement of the initial and secondary marks get a bit muddled, but suffice to say that in relation to the placement of the final S, look towards the lower loop for the most obvious signs of the repunching, both inside the curl and just towards the northwest of the lower serif should be very clear indications of this variety coin. The doubling here is less dramatic, but important nonetheless. The date is best represented by the 9 in this case, with the letters of "In God We Trust" being moderately doubled towards the northwest, exemplified by the letters of "In God." And then Liberty sees some nice spread as well. Here you can best see the doubling by looking at the T and the Y, again directly towards the north. Examining the auction records for this type, we find a PCGS graded MS66 plus red example sold in 2018 for $840. And then the next two slots are both occupied by the steel pennies of 1943. First of these is a native of the San Francisco Mint with the 1943 S double die obverse Lincoln cent. Here, the offset hub doubling is represented best by the doubling in the 1 as well as the 9 of the date. There are other indications as well to confirm your find, such as the doubling on the bow tie, for instance, which runs all along the bottom profile. There should also be very clear doubling on Lincoln's eye, with the entire eye as well as the upper and lower eyelids doubled nicely towards the east. There's also other, more subtle doubling as well, but these should be enough to identify this variety. And in 2019, an MS67 plus graded coin from PCGS was sold at auction for $1,527. And then another 1943 double die obverse penny, but this time from the Philadelphia Mint, so no mint mark for this one. Now this is likely to be the best example of what you are likely to find to represent the standard hub doubling. It is best seen on the date again, where all of the numbers, but especially the 1 and the 9 of 1943, show extreme additional thickness. By way of example, the coin on your left is an example of what the normal 1943 penny should look like, and on your right is the double die variety under discussion here. Note how all of the numbers are completely distended and look sort of bloated. In 2019, one of these coins was sold at auction in a PCGS slab with a grade of MS67 for $1,586. Heading deeper into the decade now with the second coin from 1947, but this time it is the 1947 double die Obverse variety instead. On an interesting side note, this variety was only discovered in the mid-1990s, which actually goes to prove that just because a variety coin isn't listed, that doesn't mean that it doesn't exist. So keep searching, maybe the next big discovery will be yours. The rotated hub doubling is present on most of the letters, but is best spotted on the date, where the 4, but especially the 7, is noticeably doubled towards the top. As mentioned, most of the letters show some medium doubling, but the word trust best exemplifies this, where the slight clockwise rotation of the second hubbing can be clearly noticed towards the west of the letters. During the 2016 Central States show, a PCGS graded MS67 red coin like this was sold at auction for $3,055. Then we take a look at the first of the overmint marks, neatly at the halfway point on this list. The coin in question is the 1946 S/D wheat cent. In this coin, the S mint mark was struck directly over, but slightly towards the north of the original placement of the D. The top rounding of the original D is still seen inside the loop of the S, with the straight bar of the D connecting the lower serif of the S with the upper loop as well. This is quite a sought after red book listed variety, an example of which was sold in 2019 coin auction graded as MS66 plus red by PCGS for the sum of $3,172. Moving closer to the proverbial finish line, we visit the 1941 series. Now, for the plethora of varieties that exist for this issue, one of the best is this particular double die Obverse coin, which is best characterized by the prominent doubling on Lincoln's ear, which leads some collectors to refer to this as the 1941 double ear variety. Although strictly speaking, only the earlobe is noticeably affected by this, as you can clearly see here. Additional doubling is also present on the 1 and the 9 of the date, where a ghosting effect can be seen towards the southwest. You can also clearly see a similar effect on the T as well as the Y of Liberty. During 2019, an MS66 plus red graded coin from PCGS was again sold at auction for the fairly impressive sum of $6,168. And then, in the third spot, is the first of two very different repunch, or should I perhaps say overmint mark varieties for 1944, in the form of the 1944 D/S coin. In this, the somewhat more plentiful example of these two, a small portion of the upper loop of the original S mint mark can still be detected towards the left of the straight bar of the D, just around the center mark. Now, in earlier die state examples of this particular variety, the center portion of the S should also be discernible inside the cavity of the D. However, this does fade in later die states, so it is not an absolute indicator for the variety. During the 2019 ANA's World's Fair of Money, a PCGS graded MS67 plus red coin like this was sold at auction for $8,400. In the second position, we head back to 1943 for the steel penny and one of the most blatantly unmistakable repunched mint mark varieties known, the 1943 D over D zinc-coated steel Lincoln penny. This is a repunched mint mark that you truly could spot even without the aid of magnification, as the initial D was placed well towards the southwest of the final placement, with most of the original punching still visible. An extremely difficult variety to locate, but at the same time an extremely easy one to sell, as was the case in 2018 when a PCGS graded MS67 example was sold at auction for $10,200. And so, in the top position for this particular decade rests yet another over mint mark variety for 1944. Again, this is a D over S variety, but this coin varies quite a bit from the coin in the third position that we looked at just a while ago. Here, the original S mint mark was punched directly towards the north of the final D, with the upper loop of the S still projecting up from behind the D. If you see a 1944 D over S penny referenced in a price guide, chances are that this is the very coin that they are discussing, as it is extremely rare and very sought after by collectors. To illustrate this, here is an example that was sold at auction in 2019 in a PCGS graded holder with a grade of MS67 red that raised $35,250. Now, any listing of rare 1940s pennies would hardly be complete without at least mentioning the next two coins. Technically, error coins and not varieties, as they were off-metal coins struck on the wrong type of planchet from their intended use. But by way of honorable mention, here are the 1943 bronze as well as the 1944 steel pennies. Both of these coins were struck on the wrong type of metal, with the 1943 intended to be only steel and the 1944 reverting back to bronze or copper as it is more commonly called. Both were struck by mistake at all three working mints of San Francisco, Philadelphia, and Denver. For the 1944 steel coin, only two genuine examples are known to exist from the San Francisco Mint, with the auction record being set in 2008, when the MS66 graded example from PCGS was sold for $373,750. And whenever a 1943 bronze penny becomes available on the market, it usually attains several $100,000 at auction. But the record was set in 2010 when a PCGS graded MS64 brown graded coin like this, the only known example of its kind from the Denver Mint, was sold via private treaty for the record sum of $1.7 million. If you like this, then be sure to check out the rest of the videos from this series as well. Subscribe to WNN and activate notifications with the bell icon to know when new videos are released. For the World Numismatic News, I am Numisman saying thank you for watching, keep collecting, and have a great day.